Hi Blender fans, and welcome once again to Blender TC. And don't forget, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Let's begin.
In last time's tutorial we actually created this king model, and in this one we're going to actually create the queen. Sorry. Lost my voice then. But what we're going to do to actually make the queen, we're going to actually borrow the king model. So what I'm going to do is just go into the actual spanner or wrench, and I'm going to take the subdivision modifier off. So hit the little cross to take the subdivision modifier off, and then I'm going to make a copy of the king. So Shift and D will duplicate the king, and then you can just G and X just to move it over to where the queen is actually residing. So G, all I did there is just scale it down slightly, just so I can see the outline of the king and the queen coming around it. So now what I'm going to do is just centralize this. So just G, just move it into the center like so, and we're going to actually take away the parts of the king we don't need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select line select up here. You've got point select, line select and face select. So just select this line, and we're just going to grow the selection by pressing Ctrl and the plus key until we get to about that. We'll take it right down to the base there. All this actually does is actually saves us modeling. So Control and minus, and what I want to do is actually just ungrow the selection until it's in about the right place, and I'm going to press X and delete the faces. The reason we've done this is because the king and the queen up to this point are pretty similar, and all we need to do to actually model the queen is select that top face. I did that by holding the Alt key down, pressing the left click, and if you press the 1 key we're looking from the front. E and Z to extrude, and we're just going to scale this down. E and Z like so. Scale this up. Right. If you add a modifier and make it the subdivision modifier, this will help us shape our queen. So we're going to do that just now and take it up to 2. And what we'll do is E and Z and just scale this up until we get the required shape of the queen. And scale E and Z and scale E and Z and S to scale E and Z and S to scale. Pressing the full stop key will make a zooming in on the actual faces or lines we've got selected. So E and Z, and just scale it up. I'm just going to follow this edge round quite quickly, like so. Anywhere where it changes dramatically, that's where we're going to actually just scale up to, and this just makes it much quicker to do our modelling of the queen. E and Z, E and Z. We're going to actually undo the subdivision modifier E and Z in a little bit, just to actually go in this so I can actually just get the rough shape. Just scale it, E and Z, and scale, E and Z, and scale. As you can see, I'm just shaping it as I go along. E and Z, scale. Because the subdivision modifier is applied, what it does, it rounds all these edges. E and Z, like so. And you just do it to where you see a change, which is about there. E and Z, and just keep scaling just to finish our model off. And scale, and E and Z just to get to the base like so. I'm just going to take this subdivision modifier off now, just to make it easier for me to actually see things. As you can see, we've got that top edge selected. If we press the 7 key and look from the top, I'm just going to extrude and scale this down to about there. Looking from the front by pressing the 1 key, you must be over the actual gridded area when you select these, if I'm just going to G and Z, like so. The reason I'm doing that, so when we extrude, we're going to extrude outwards, and E and S to scale, looking from the front, G and Z, and I'm just going to make this ball, E and Z, scale down, E and Z, scale up, E and Z. Now I'm just doing this in a rough shape of this ball, E and Z, scale. And it's always a good idea when you do the final points, E and Z, scale, so you don't get distortion. The very last bit should be E and scale, and then F to fill just on the end, so we've got two flat areas, so you shouldn't have too much distortion. Now we've got that, all we need to do is actually do the crown on the queen. So look from the top, press the tab key. Now we're not selecting these two faces here. What we're going to do is select the two next to them. So looking from the top, select face select, select those two, miss two, and just select the next two. Just carry on all the way around this model. Because we've got 32 faces on this, what we're doing is actually making the crown of the queen. This we go. So I'm now going to extrude along the normals like so to make my queen crown. And lastly, all we're going to do is we're going to go up here to, this is transform the pivot point. Normally this is set to medium point by default, and what I'm going to do is put it to individual origins like so, which will allow me to actually scale these down into points like so. And I'm just going to lower the crown slightly, G and Z, and just scale them. Now I'm going to put it back onto the medium point, because that actually scales it around the center of the model, whereas the other one just does it on the individual origins. So looking from the front, so Z, for some reason I've selected that center point there. I'm just going to GG just to move that back down like so, and let's just apply the subdivision modifier again like so. Now it's not exactly the same as my reference image, but I think I do like the crown of the queen, but just to make it look pretty much like the reference image, I'm just going to select these edges like so, all the way around again. And because we're on medium point here, it does it from the center of the model, which is that point there. So looking from the front, I'm just going to line these up by pressing the S key like so, G and Z just to fetch them down, and there we have it. We have our queen all done. And because we've actually used the king as our base for our queen, we've already got the actual base coloured in, and that's the queen model finished. Nice and simple this time. And the next thing we're going to make is the bishop, and that'll be followed by the horse or the knight lastly, and that will be our chess set pieces complete. So join me on the next tutorial when we will make the bishop. Bye for now, and thank you, and subscribe to Blender TC.